mean, I'm just going to dive right in with what you and I have been talking about since you sat down, which is it's so interesting to now be talking to you as a player. I'm so used to working with you as a caster. So how does it feel for you to be back in like this? I know you've done it before, but it's been a couple years.
Yeah, it feels good. I actually wanted to start playing again in 2014. That's when I was like, okay, it could be cool to build something again, but I wanted to come back for the right opportunity. And it took a while before I found something that I felt comfortable with starting up again. So that happened late 2015. The team didn't do too well, but I obviously have still continued working with Era. And now the current team we have is I'm very satisfied with, so it's good.
How have you seen the Dota landscape changing over the course of your years as a commentator? I mean, being able to take a step back and have that perspective must have been really interesting.
Yeah, I would say the level of play increases every year and the level of competition overall.
Well, one of the things that made you such a great caster was you were so known for your insight and being able to kind of break things down. How has that impacted your success when it comes to building teams? That's also something that you have a lot of experience with.
I think personality is very important. That's something other players will tell you as well, is that it's not only about your mechanical skill or your raw ability to play the game. You need to work in a team environment. And a lot of the times it's about finding the right match. If everyone is too vocal, it's too much. It's like too many chefs in the kitchen. Everyone wants to do everything, and that doesn't work. And if everyone is too passive, then nothing gets done. So a good recipe is you have one or two that are pretty, very vocal. Everyone is obviously active in game. It's also about having fun together. So it's good to have a bit of a clown as well in the team.
Who's your clown?
Yeah, Absor.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say, yeah.
Hands down.
But we all clown a bit sometimes, but he's like the catalyst, who really makes it happen. But yeah, building this team, I took Era from the first team we made, and then Koikva is an old teammate of mine from TI3. He was a guy, when I thought about coming back, he was the first guy I talked to. I was like, if I'm playing again, you're the number one guy I would want to play with again from back then, because I really enjoyed playing with him.
Talk a little bit more about that, because you build the team, you made a few changes, now you've been playing together for a little bit. How do you come together in those months leading up to the international, where things start to gel? Was there a moment where you looked around and said, okay, yeah, we're starting to really get this now?
I think close to the qualifiers, our team has been a little special because we came in guns blazing when we made the team. I think the first 2 weeks our results were really, really good. And then what happened was that we had a distinct style, and then teams were looking at us and they figured us out. And then we needed to change things up. And it takes a while, especially when you're a new team, to develop multiple play styles and multiple strategies. So we ran a lot of the same stuff in the start. Now that we've built more things for ourselves, I feel way more confident and way more flexible in the drafting. Close to the TI qualifiers, we weren't doing too well. We had 2 lands where we had pretty poor placements. But then that boot camp before the TI qualifiers was really, really good. I think that's when we improved the most in the shortest time. Most of the community, I would guess, wouldn't have expected us to be here going into that qualifier. I think a lot would have put us in the bottom 5, but we really found a style and expanded and improved our teamwork a lot during those, a week and a half, I think? Mm-hmm. Got a lot better.
So how do those expectations that you talk about impact your confidence level as a team as you play? Some teams like being the underdog and like being underestimated and actually like the extra play time they get by coming in as a wild card. Others say it's a little bit tougher. What's your mindset on that?
I think it's hard to say that it's an advantage playing the wild card. It's a very few games that have a very big impact. So I would be lying if I say it's not a bit intimidating that you have to play those games. But apart from that, I've always liked being the underdog, because then it's a surprise story when you do well. People don't expect the craziest stuff, and then it's a really positive surprise when it turns out, wow, you're doing really well. Like the qualifiers, for example, where I really liked the fact that everyone underestimated us and we just proved them all wrong.